Tú, a contar de hoy día, vas a ser un agente topo, un espía. A mí me está contratando una hija. Cree que a su madre adentro la están maltratando, que le están robando. Entonces tú vas a ser mis ojos. Yeah. Todo me sirve. Los baños están asquerosos, que la enfermera, cachuchazo, y escobazo, qué sé yo, todo me lo informa.
Informe de hoy, miércoles 29. Rómulo, contabilicé 40 mujeres y 4 hombres, incluyéndome. Todas las señoras me parecen iguales.
Pero no es tan viejo.
Es viudo, dice.
Sergio.
Hello, I'm Ann Hornaday, the Washington Post's chief film critic. Welcome to Washington Post Live. Special welcome to our Oscar Spotlight series. We're putting a spotlight on the 5 films nominated for Academy Awards for Best Documentary Feature. And today we're speaking about a documentary from Chile called The Mole Agent, and we're thrilled to be joined by the film's director, Maite Alberdi, and the film's producer, Marcela Santibáñez. Welcome, Maite and Marcela.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's great to see both of you. What a charming film. What a charming protagonist. Maite, we got a little of the plot there from that teaser that the daughter of a patron of a nursing home outside Buenos Aires, I think, or I don't know what city it's out of.
Yeah.
Hires this private detective to check on her mother. So when you set out to make this film, were you making your film about a spy, or were you making a film about the elderly people?
At the beginning, I was making a film, or I was developing an idea of a film about private detective agencies, like how private detective agencies increase in Chile and how ex-FBI have their own, and it started thinking, why do the people hire private detectives today? And from that starting point, we see different cases, and we arrive to this case of the retirement home that different detectives have in their agencies, and that was a topic on all the cases that we saw. That was a topic that it's really related with my previous film and my own obsession. So it was like the perfect match. But it started the film with the idea to make a film noir about a private detective.
Well, that explains why you're there so early. I mean, I don't want to spoil anything about this movie, but one of the most amusing sequences comes early, where the agency is auditioning all of these different gentlemen to go undercover. And I was so curious how you were able to be there from the very beginning. So that explains it. So Marcela, as we see in the film, Sergio, our hero, your protagonist, is answering a want ad in the newspaper. So did he know you would be filming him going in? Was that kind of part of his assignment, was agreeing to be filmed by a documentary team?
Yeah, I mean, when he saw the ad in the newspaper, it's the real ad for a job to become a spy. When he arrived there, he met the detective, and he explained the whole situation. And then we came and told him, so we are also making a documentary. Would you agree that we shoot your whole experience? And he agreed.
It's so interesting. It's almost meta, because the detective agency is auditioning. They're casting, it's almost like a casting call, and then you're casting your film, and you couldn't ask for a better. Were your antennae up? Did you know when you saw him, like, what an amazing, like, he could carry a film? Is that clear from the very first few minutes when you see someone like that?
When I saw him the first time, Yeah, it was. Yeah, we were very disappointed because we were supposed to work with the mold that Romulo worked with, but he broke his hip, so he put the ad to find a new one. And when Sergio arrived, yeah, it was love at first sight, in the sense that all the men that arrived were incredible because we're super active people at their 80s. So I really admire all of them when they arrive, and for me, all of them were super good possible moles. But Sergio makes something that was really special. He started like speaking about her feelings, speaking about his to be a widower in his job interview, and for me that was something that it's out of the common construction or the way to be of old men in Chile and in Latin America. Like we were raised thinking that men don't cry and old men neither, or less. So he started to be super emotional, and that was like a super heart open person from the beginning. And I think that that was also his mood inside the retirement home all the time.
Absolutely. He is a very special man. And because of his character and the kind of person he is, the narrative really changes. You know, you think you're going to be in on this little caper film, and it is, and it's got all those fun spy scenes. But then Sergio really sort of transforms the place, and I want to show a clip that sort of expresses how important he becomes to the mostly women who live there. It's mostly women, and they just have this really profound reaction to him, because he's such a compassionate man, and he's such a good listener. So let's play this clip, and then we'll come back on the other side.
¿Qué le parece nuestro rey, Mirta?
Está muy bueno de primera.
¿Y la Raquelita?
Muy bien.
Rompecorazones, mi rey. O sea, no me equivoqué, ¿cierto que no me equivoqué? Hay alguien que me mira por ahí y me dice, quiero opinar. Vamos a preguntar. Mira, Bertita, ¿qué opina de nuestro rey?
¿Qué piensa usted? Yo estoy, pero enamorada de él.
¡Ay, matrimonio parece!
Yo te nombro
So obviously that is when Sergio is being crowned king of the nursing home. So Maite, I guess, would it be fair to say that you would have had an entirely different film if Romulo had gone with a different gentleman for the mission?
Yeah, probably if Romulo went with his mold of all of that he usually worked with, it will be a film more focused on the case and on the clues and on the detective line, and the narrative will be more the thriller at the film noir, and not a film about experience and about what that people is living there. I think that, yeah, exactly, he was the one that changed the focus of the film and the focus of the narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Marcela, I understand from our research that at one point Sergio wanted to leave the project. Is that true? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, that was probably one of the days I cried the most during the shoot. We were in the retirement home, and it was just at the beginning when he just arrived. And to be honest, he was having a hard time. I think for him was really impactful to see all these people, with dementia, or like he wasn't used to see people that felt so old. And I mean, he's older than most of the people that actually appear there, but he always seems so young. And for him it was really tough at the beginning, and he had doubts, and he said, like, I'm sorry, I think I'm gonna leave this research, and then we had to talk. I mean, his boss talked to him and he said like, don't do it, but then we also had to explain him the importance of the film also. But also I think he just needed a little bit more of time to get used to the situation and to start to fall in love with all the people there, and suddenly he started making friends and he started enjoying his time there, and I mean, fortunately, he changed his mind.
Indeed, I can understand though that would have been sort of overwhelming for him. And Maite, you've structured this film in such a way that we can forget that it's a documentary just because it's so dramatic. And like you said, it does have that thriller element, but it's really a human drama. And there's a love, there are more than one love stories. Bertita falls in love, but a lot of people fall in love with Sergio. I think the audience kind of falls in love with Sergio a little bit. But tell us a little bit. I understand also that you started filming in the home before Sergio got there. Is that right?
Yeah, we started filming. We first shoot the training of Sergio inside the office, and then we went to shoot the retirement home. Before that he entered, like we speak to them and we say that we wanted to make a documentary about old age and what people is living there, what people is what happened with the people that is living there. So that was our topic for them. That is the topic of the film. Like we didn't say the storytelling about the mall, but we speak about the topic. And so we enter before the people get used to us. We started to learn how to shoot in that place, and we spent like 2 or 3 weeks before Sergio arrived. So all the residents were super used to us. We start to understand which one of them feel comfortable with the camera. And when he arrived, he was one of the extra character that we were following in that space. So we act that we don't know each other when he enters.
Right. So you were then able, that makes sense. So you weren't, it didn't look like you were necessarily just following him because you were filming everybody. And then toward that end though, were you filming a variety of characters and plot lines in order to choose later how you wanted to structure it? Or was, you were getting so much material. Again, you're following Sergio, but then there's so many other very compelling characters in this film. So I'm not expressing this question very well, but I guess how sure of the storyline were you at the time, or did it come together in the editing?
No, I think that at the editing, or we only were clear about the starting point and the end. Like this start with this case, but in the editing we were not clear about the focus probably, or the equilibrium between the case and the life inside the retirement home. And we realized in the editing that the importance was in Sergio's experience, and that the detective case was only a starting point to tell this story of this unique experience. And that is something that we discovered in the editing, because in the shooting, as do you say, we were shooting different lines, and we were shooting a lot of characters inside the retirement home, more characters that indeed appears at the end of the film. We shoot a lot of women of that place that are not in the final cut, but we determinate which were more important for Sergio, and that is the one that we maintain. But at the end, it's because we take the Sergio point of view to take the story, so we construct mostly the relationship that were super important for him.
Yeah, right. I'd like to set up another clip, and this shows Sergio in action. He's when he gets his job, Romulo gives him special glasses. I mean, it's real James Bond stuff. And so this is a clip where he's trailing his target, a woman named Marta. or no, I don't know that's another resident, but Marta has sticky fingers, and she has a penchant for going through her neighbor's possessions. Let's take a look at this clip, and then we'll come back.
Rómulo. El miércoles comencé a seguir a Marta porque sospechaba de ella.
Ah, los míos. Estos son los míos, oye. Oye. Anotó y también.
Fui a investigar a la pieza de Marta y encontré varios objetos que pertenecen a otras personas. La Marta es muy rápida para llevarse las cosas y hacerlas desaparecer, pero es difícil enojarse con ella. No he visto a ninguna enfermera robar. Está lista la encomienda.
One of the great sources of comedy in this film is watching Sergio and technology interacting. It's really charming. But there's also kind of, for me at least, there was an interesting subtext, and this might circle back, Marcela, to his misgivings at the beginning about maybe wanting to pull out, which is the ethics of it. I mean, he's sort of deceiving people. And then, like like Maite said, even though yes, you're making a film about old age, you weren't 100% transparent. To get in, you had to do a little subterfuge. So, Marcela, could you talk us through those issues, the ethics issues, and the deception?
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's something complicated, and you think about it a lot. I feel that the reason why we went through and we kind of felt right is because we knew that at the end of the day, what we were portraying was the truth inside that place, and we knew that the subject, the real subject matter, had to do with old age and with giving, space and giving, putting the spotlight in a group of people that are usually, so on the side of society in a way. So, of course, it was complicated, especially in the retirement home, not telling them about the research. But in a way, when we told them and they saw the film, their reaction was so good, and they were so happy with the film that we knew that in the core, what we were doing was really, there was a big benefit, and we knew that we were really making a piece of work that would help. I don't know. I think that was what kept us doing it and working on it, and but it is complicated, of course.
Mm-hmm. Maite, I don't know, would you want to add anything? I mean, there's also, even in that scene, we see him photographing people's belongings. I mean, there's a privacy issue for him and then also for you. I mean, it's very multi-layered. So I don't know if you have anything to add to that, or like what your rules were for your own team.
Yeah, I think that we also have a relief in a sense that we feel that, or I feel that, if something bad was happening, like it was a denounce and it's supposed that something bad was happening, you have a relief at the beginning because you are going to denounce something, and that's move you in another like ethical place when you have to discover this kind of denounces, like to how honest to be to get the access. But as Marcela said, like I feel that we were super clear with the topic, or the film at the end, it's the same topic that we say at the beginning, but we also can take another road if the place were not good as it is. So yeah, we have the both possible road at the beginning. But yeah, I think that they knew that we were going to shoot everything, that we were looking there, and they were conscious about our camera and not about Sergio's camera. Yeah, that was always a big problem about how he shoot and what are we going to show about what he's shooting. But at the end, he shoots so bad, and he never have like nothing that it's really private or something that our camera cannot catch. So we feel super comfortable taking his image too, because it was like a copy in some way of our image, but from his lenses, the small time that he really catch something, because he never do it at the end.
So Marcela did answer my question, which is, have they seen it? Have the women seen it? And she said yes. Could you tell us a little bit more about their reactions to the film?
Yeah, the women of the retirement home, when we show it to them, actually they were our first viewers ever, because it was before our premiere at Sundance, actually, that we showed them the film. And we got together with Maite in the post-production house. We invited them and we said, like, okay, the film is ready, but we need to tell you like a minor detail. It's actually a spy movie. And they're like, okay. They were really nervous, and we say like, but watch it and let's talk afterwards and you'll see. And then yeah, they were nervous at the beginning, but then once they saw the film, as I told you, they were really proud of because, like, I mean, we told them we're gonna show the good things and the bad things. That was something that we told them, regardless if this was about a spy or not. And they were always really open. So I think they were really nervous on what were we going to show, but they felt really proud, because what the film actually showed at the end is how they really work, and this place especially really cares about their old people. There's this like preconception in the world that these places treat people badly, and that we should never, take our old people there. But they showed the other way. They say like, we actually really cared, and most of the times what we have to deal is with loneliness, because it's the families that kind of leave us this responsibility, and we have to take over. And in that sense, I feel they were really, I don't know if happy is the word, but at least like proud that what the world is seeing is a reality that they really are, and that they want to keep on, doing it like that.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's one of the interesting transformations in the film, or pivots. You go, like you said, we come in with assumptions. Sergio and Romulo come in with assumptions, and then they are very gradually and gracefully overturned. And that's one of the beautiful things that you do in this film. So when they saw the film, was that when they realized Sergio was a spy, or was that clear earlier? Did they find that out earlier?
No, we decided to do it when we showed the film to them. We thought that they suspect. We really cannot believe that they never suspect. And when we show the film to them, we explain it before to show it, because we feel that when we realized that it was a super good place, like, if you explain it without show the film to them, I think it will be super confusing. So we were thinking to say to them after the shooting, but at the end we thought that our best card, it will be to make the explanation with the result of the film, like, to them, to don't be like afraid, like. So, and I think that it's work. Like, we explained it to them before to show it, and they laugh, they cry, they love it, and it was a big relief for us, that reception.
I am sure. And then you must tell us how's Sergio doing? What's he doing? What's he up to?
Well,
Sergio is. Sorry. You go,
sorry.
Maite.
Sergio, it's like a new Chilean star. He's like receiving offers for ads and to be in TV, in TV ads, and yeah, he's like super like well known here. The problem is like because of the lockdown, he cannot go out enough. So I think that he didn't really realize how famous he is. He make an Instagram and he has like 30,000 followers in 2 days, and now he's going to the Oscars, and he told us it's his first trip. It's the first time that he take a plane in his life, and he told us it's my first trip and my last adventure, and he's so emotional with this that it's great.
Oh, that's so charming. Well, I think wherever he buys his sweaters, I think they should hire him to be their spokesmodel because this man has the most beautiful wardrobe. It was just fabulous, really fabulous. You know, you brought up the lockdown, and it was so interesting to me that, as you said, this film premiered at Sundance, but then the world changed, and our lives changed, and the context changed, and I don't know, both Marcela and then Maite, I'd love to hear from you. If you think the meaning of the film has changed for audiences, because it is so much about loneliness and isolation, but also fellowship and communion. I don't know. Do you think it sort of changed its own, morphed a little bit during the pandemic? I'll start with Marcela.
Yes, of course. I mean, it's not like it's weird to say like old age is trendy now, because the old age is something that has always been there, but it's just like the pandemic and the lockdown has taught us how difficult it is to live in isolation, and it has been so contingent. Like we are all talking about isolation, and this film shows you that these people have been isolated their whole lives. We just realized because we were living it in first, like we are experiencing it, but these people have experienced that their whole life. And also on the other side, I feel like the pandemic has made us be much more like honest or more emotional, and we have suffered like worldwide, so we are also more open to talk about our emotions. And I think this film also gives you that chance. It's really impactful to read, for example, on social media, how everybody talks, how they cried with this film, how they call their parents. And I feel like in a normal year, maybe as society, we wouldn't be so open to talk about our feelings. And I think that in that sense, the complicated year that we had to premiere a film really made a huge influence in the impact that the film is having, I would say, worldwide.
So true. Maite, do you want to add anything? That's very well said.
Yeah, it's very well said. I think.
Oh, well, and now we're out of time, but I can't thank you both enough. Maite and Marcela, thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations on this honor.
Thank you very much.